All right, so we've seen a lot of incredibly creative ideas here today. We have one final one to share with you, and it kind of gets to the whole question of creativity and where do ideas come from, and how do we motivate ourselves to be creative, to be writers. And so next we have a Berkeley-based company named Tapnik that has actually two things to tell us about today that will help you in your brainstorming and your to jumpstart your creative process.
Hi, I'm Joel Davis from Tapnik, and these are a couple of little creative writing apps that I've written and put out there. So the Brainstormer and Write Attack. The first one I'm talking about is the Brainstormer. This is an idea generator, and it simply combines words or ideas from 3 different lists in random ways, in a really tactile way, to make unusual combinations and ideas you might not think of. The kind of default list, what we call the classic Brainstormer, has a plot wheel, a style wheel, and a subject, which could be a character or a location or just an object. There's also other wheels like a character generation wheel or a word building wheel for other things. And you can make your own, or you can customize them however you'd like. So it's pretty easy to see what it is just with a little demo. So this is the main interface, is these 3 wheels, and you can just drag them with your fingers and combine things to get random mistakes. So there could be a story right there. You can roll the dice and it'll just spin all of them. And it's just all kinds of crazy ideas. Conviction on Tropical Island. Okay. And so we've got, and these word lists there's some great ideas. We also have this, we call the slot machine view, which is the same thing, the same content, but in a columnar form. Just another way to look at it. If you like an idea, you can hit the lock button, and that'll lock one of them, and you can continue to experiment with the other ones. Once you find something you like, you can email it yourself, post it on Twitter or Facebook. And then we have the screen with more wheels, the word builder, animal wheel, and you can make your own. So that's the Brainstormer. How it came about is it started in the back of a moleskin notebook by a concept artist and illustrator named Andrew Bosley. And when he was at art school, I think it was at San Jose State, he kept a list of the subject and style lists that he would use for sketching practice. And he would just pick a random combination and draw that. As he was doing larger illustrations and concept artist, he wanted to give a little plot and have some backstory to his illustration. So he added the plot list to give his pictures a little more story. So he went to work in the games industry, and they made a web version that's an online Flash version that's still around, anyone can use it. And that had the first version with the 3 wheels. So then I really liked it. I used it for my own writing. I used it for writing prompt and for story ideas. And so I asked him if he'd be interested in a iPhone or iPad version, and he got really into that. And so Andrew did all the graphic design, and I did all the development for it. So we've heard from a lot of people that use it in education for like writing prompts or classes or writing groups. And we've heard from people that use it in really unexpected ways. We've had a tattoo artist that told us he uses it combining a style like tribal with a subject and a location on the body. And then he will sketch out in his little book of tattoos an idea from that. People have used it in game design, mixing game mechanics and different genres. I've heard of people using it for startup ideas, whatever you can think of. So where I'm going with it, I've got some updates for more recent iOS versions. The main feature that everybody requests is to edit the word lists on your desktop, or just in an easier way, because it's very hard to edit them on the iPhone with a tiny little keyboard. And so that's what I'm working on right now, and it'll let you also import and export the wheels and share them with your friends, your class, or your writing group, or something like that. We've got more wheels on the way. I've got a sci-fi wheel that's a lot of fun. We've got a Great Works remixed wheel that'll just chop little bits of different things. And right now it's only on iOS and Android. I mean, iOS only, but we've got Android on the roadmap somewhere. So eventually. So that's the Brainstormer. It's normally $2 in the App Store. It's free this weekend for digi.lit, so go download it and tell your friends about it. It's free. And I know there's a lot of bloggers here, so if anyone wants promo codes to give to your readers for blog podcasts or just for fun, I'm happy to share promo codes with people for that. So the other app, and I think this is the one that Scott thinks is terrifying, is called Write Attack. This is I call it a pressure cooker for writer's block. It's a free program, it's open source. There's a Windows build up now, the Mac build is broken right now, but I'm going to fix that in the next week or two. And what this is it's a very simple word processor like Notepad or something. There's no formatting, there's no options. All you can do is write, and there's a word count. You choose a target, word count, and a time limit, like 200 words in 10 minutes, or 1,000 words in an hour. And there's a button for NaNoWriMo mode, if anyone does that. It'll automatically do your daily quota. And you want to choose a comfortable time limit, something that, it's not a speed typing program. It's about something you can sit down and hit that word count if you don't get up and make a sandwich like I always do. There's also a cute little animated cartoon mascot, and he cheers you on, and he gets worried if you're behind, and he really freaks out if you start deleting text, so don't delete text because it just scares him. But the real thing that makes this motivating is once you've started to write, the option to save your work or cut and paste it out or get it out of the program in any way is disabled. It shuts off. You can't get the text out. And if you don't hit your word count, it's deleted. There's this fire animation, and it destroys everything you've written, and you're back to the blank page. So once you've started writing, the only thing you can do, the only way you can keep what you've written is to keep writing. Once you've written a little bit, the only thing you can do is keep going. And I don't know, I find this works really well for me. I don't know about everybody else. I think in a way it works because the fear of losing what you've written is a much more immediate and a much more tangible fear than whatever fears might be causing your writer's block. Because those are just big things, whereas in 15 minutes it's going to erase what you've written. It's also nice to have a goal and a real consequence that helps motivate you. It makes it something like a challenge. It's kind of a gamification of writing instead of a chore. And it doesn't work for everyone. I've heard people tell me that when they've tried it and they say it's like there's even more pressure and they just freeze up even more. So if it doesn't work, don't use it. So one of the best pieces of feedback I got was from a friend of mine who's a writer, and he told me he uses it like a Tibetan sand painting, where he sets an impossibly high word count goal, and he just writes for 10 or 15 minutes, knowing that what he's writing is going to go away. So it gives him a safe space to write things kind of ephemerally, something that he knows won't stick around and that he won't, he's not committing to anything by writing that. And then when he has ideas that resonate or something that is interesting, he'll go back and write it again in Word or something. But the usual case is if you do reach that word count goal, you get to your 1,000 words or whatever, then you can save it, copy and paste it into Word, and it's there. So that's Write Attack. Brainstormer is free this weekend. Links to all of these can be found at my website, tapnik.com. And if any feedback or suggestions for these feature requests, I'd love to hear from people. So feel free to email me. All right.
Thank you, Joe Davis, founder of Tapnik. So this session does not have a Q&A, but the founders and the inventors are all going to be around here. They'll be out in the lobby if you want to chat to them after that. This room is going to be getting set up for the next session. So thank you, everyone. And thanks for everything.